Strong looks different for each of us, and it's time to put focus on our unique journeys that get us there. This space, created weekly, is for athletes to improve their mindset in order to better navigate challenges that come up in sport and in different seasons of life. On this show, we ask the questions that lead to better answers and have the conversations that truly matter. This is the Becoming Your Strong podcast. Hey, you guys. Welcome back to another episode of the Becoming Your Strong podcast. It's just me this week. I'm all cozied. It's kind of a cold day here in Colorado. We went from like a 90-degree weekend to like 70s. And when you go from those extremes, it's a little chilly. So I've got my Bombas on. They're nice, cozy little slipper socks. And I am ready to inspire you guys today. Have a really awesome conversation. But before we do that, let's go ahead and jump into our listener shout out, the Becoming Your Strong moment of the week. So I wouldn't necessarily say this person is a listener. I more or less probably listen to this person and have watched this person from afar ever since I've started to be a hybrid racer. But I just wanted to shout out this individual because this isn't necessarily someone that I would say is like an idol to me. In fact, there's been plenty of times along his journey that I've like disagreed and how he's held himself, maybe just a little bit cocky, just not totally my vibe. But just, again, watching from afar the last year and seeing the upward trajectory that this individual is making, I just wanted to give him a shout out, even though he has no idea who I am and that I even listen and follow along in the journey. But that is Ryan Kent. You guys probably have heard a decent amount of him, especially if you're also in the hybrid racing space, whether that be DEKA or Hyrox. He is one of like the original, one of the OG athletes in DEKA that has won several world championship titles. He went on to Hyrox to win a world championship. And after his father passed away and just a couple of tragic events that he's had, it's just been a battle for him. I'd say the better half of the last year. And he has dropped out of the Elite 15, hasn't been able to qualify in Hyrox. He really struggled, I believe, is at the 2023 Dallas World Championships for DEKA. It's been tough. Anyone that knows him knows that he's been through some rough things. And yesterday, I watched him in the DEKA Fit event that happened in North Carolina. And he just mentioned that he's on this comeback, that it's been really hard for him. And he's not going to give up on himself. He's going to figure it out. And I've listened to the RMR training podcast and have just had a chance to really listen to his story and watch him get vulnerable. And I just think that that's incredibly powerful. We all go through those hiccups in our journey. And I think it's taken him a while to really tap into what work it is he needs to do under the surface. But I finally feel in my gut that he's doing that. And he's starting to see results again. He's starting to win again and be recognized again. And that's really tough for someone who was the big name and then just got overshadowed and felt like he was losing himself, losing his fitness, losing his identity. It's a tough pill to swallow, a tough phase in life to go through. So I just wanted to shout him out because it also goes very well with the theme of today's podcast, which is the distractions that are out there that are keeping us as athletes happy. And I was actually inspired by this topic because I was listening to a podcast recently on the Chasing Excellence podcast. And the episode series that they've been doing has been distractions that are keeping you from this, right? Whether it be health, whether it be happiness, just a couple of different like series of episodes that they've done. And I've really enjoyed them. And I think that this would be a great time, again, just considering where we're at in the season, to just talk about these things. And I'm sure there's going to be a lot of these things that overlap from previous episodes in the last month or so. But I wanted to talk about just 3 distractions of athlete happiness, 3 things that are keeping us from feeling fulfilled and happy and joyful just during this process of becoming our absolute best within the sport that we choose to dedicate ourselves to. So with that being said, let's go ahead and start off with distraction numero uno. Expectations. And that's probably not a surprise for you to hear. He, and by he, why am I forgetting the name of the podcast host? Ben Bergerac, I believe is how you pronounce his last name. He mentioned this wonderful quote that I want everyone to hear and just take in, that happiness is reality minus expectations. So whatever reality that you're experiencing minus whatever level of expectations you have, that is going to equal your level of happiness. And some questions that I think pop up around this are, well, do you just not have expectations at all? Do you not have goals? Like, do you stop chasing after things? Like, what does that mean? Because of course, like expectations, if we have them, they're probably really high of ourselves to do really well. And that's going to outdo what reality is actually serving us. So do we just get rid of them completely? And the answer is no, absolutely not. It's good to chase for things. It's good to hold yourself to a higher standard. But what shift needs to be made is this acceptance for what is, the acceptance for reality and what it is that it's serving you in this moment versus wishing for reality to be different, to look different, to be playing out differently. It's being able to no longer feed the ego to be something of some sort, to be recognized at some level. And it's also removing the fear of, what does this say about me if I don't achieve blank? And this has been a really big one for me because, again, the whole reason that I'm doing this 7-week build that I'm in right now, I'm in week 2 of it, is because I really want to qualify elite again for the Deca Strong female wave at World Championships at the end of the year. And when I set that goal and when I set my intentions in my training plan to do this, I had to have really good intentional conversations with myself around why I was doing this. And I will be totally honest, there was part of me that was thinking, well, if I don't make a lead again, what does that say about me? Will people not take me any seriously? Will they not want coaching from me anymore? Like, am I going backwards as an athlete? Am I not doing enough? Like, what does this say about me if I don't accomplish this again? Seeing that I had such a great breakout year last year, like, what will this mean? And I had to tell myself and have a real conversation with myself that stuff doesn't matter. It feels like it matters and it feels like people are watching and thinking those things, but they're not. The only person that's setting those expectations and thoughts on me, that pressure on myself, is me. I'm sure there would be people that would be shocked and be sad if I didn't make it, but no one would think any less of me. In fact, they'd probably be really excited to watch the comeback that I make, what I did in age group, right? Just because, like, let's say if I don't hit a time this year that it's going to qualify me for elite, doesn't mean I can't go to World Championships and still have an absolute blast. Maybe it's just in a different way than what I originally expected or originally visualized. But that doesn't mean that it's a failure. And it definitely doesn't mean that it's a waste. And so when I was going through and setting those goals, I wanted to make sure that I was doing it for the right reasons, not because of this fear of, well, what does this mean if I don't? But rather for this, I love who I become when I push myself. And that's something else that I wrote down to you guys, is that we have to remove this whole idea of like, I should be further along. I should be further along because of this. I could be thinking that all day, truly, because I've been doing this now for 2 full years. I'm entering my 3rd full season of doing this. Well, I should be further along. My skis should be faster. My bike should be faster. I should not feel this crappy by this point. Says who? Literally, says who? On what timeline are we on? There's none. Everyone's got their own. And I get to create that story. I get to create that timeline. And so I'm trying to remove this, I should be further along, I should be capable of doing this because of what I'm seeing out there is possible, to trusting the timing of my own life and how these experiences that I'm going to go through in the next 7 weeks and for the rest of this year, all of these things coming to me are building me into the person that I need to become, right? To fulfill my bigger and greater purpose in this world. There was a quote that was said recently that I also really enjoy and that hit home to me, and that was, why would I worry about a shot I haven't taken yet? And I believe that was from Kobe Bryant. Why would I worry about a shot that I haven't taken yet? That just allows for me to think about, why am I allowing for the anxiety around these expectations to put this unnecessary pressure on myself. There's no reason to worry about a shot because I'm not taking it right now. I haven't taken it yet. I shouldn't worry about it when I'm in a training block and I'm sitting there on the ski and maybe it feels a lot harder than it felt yesterday thinking, oh, I'll never be ready. This is never going to work, right? I haven't taken the shot yet. Why would I worry about it? I just need to allow for myself to just be and understand that this process is going to be fluctuating to highs and lows, but that doesn't mean anything as far as what I'm capable of. It's not a realistic determiner of it. So I think that's the number one distraction, if I had to take a wild guess, is expectations. And so how does that hit home to you and what actions do you need to take based off of what I just said? Distraction number 2, the pursuit of status. And this was one that they mentioned on the Chasing Excellence podcast that I'm going to sort of steal but modify just in relation again to athletics. But when I say the pursuit of status, what I mean by that is your rankings, how you stack up on the leaderboard, winning, being on the podium, etc. What I find with this pursuit of status is not only this chase for an outcome or a specific end goal, but also the thief of joy, which is comparison. You start comparing yourself to other people, and instead of running your own race, you're trying to run other people's races. So there's multiple things going on in this distraction of pursuit of status. What we have to do is shift from that outcome, that end game type of goal that we're creating for ourselves, to a more values-based goal. Instead of climbing the rankings, claiming the world record, being on the podium at world championships, what if we instead focused on who do I want to become? Who do I want to become? That is more than enough. Winning feels good and it's fun. And I'm not saying that it's a bad thing. But if that's all we ever do is chase goals like that, then we're going to work ourselves into a dark place of no matter what it is that you do, no matter what it is that you achieve, it'll never be enough to satisfy you. I've had a lot of people recently ask me like, why don't you share more that you like won first place of this, and that, and blah, 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 blah. Like, I think I was sitting in a team meeting at Pursuit, and they were like, oh yeah, and then she just like casually dominated and like, give yourself a shout out, Kayla. Like, you claimed the world record, you did this. And I just sit there and I'm like, I don't feel the need to anymore. I don't need to make that the measure of whether or not I had a good weekend, whether or not I had a good race, whether or not I feel satisfied and where my journey as an athlete is going. I'd rather sit there and talk about the moments where I got to be on the course with some of my favorite people. And I got to go through those challenging moments when I didn't think that I could, and then I did. I love being a coach on the sidelines and getting to watch my athletes race and getting to cheer them on and see them step into their potential, right? Like, those are the pursuits in my life that are becoming so much more important than saying, well, I'm the world record holder for this. When I claimed the world record with Olivia, when I claimed the world record with the Ruck, the happiness, all of these things, it lasted for like a day, if that. And quite honestly, now I've kind of forgot. I've forgot about them. And it's not because they're not important or cool. It's just that's not where my focus is at. My focus is just truly trying to enjoy the journey and most importantly, focus on who it is that I want to become and aligning my actions and intentions to that. And if I do that, I know that that is going to take me to incredible places. And so yes, I will enjoy winning. I will enjoy being on the podium. I will enjoy making the elite wave this year. Those are all things that I will enjoy. But the thing that's going to really satisfy me the most is the person that I become on the other side and the woman that gets to share her story to inspire other people to do the same. That is what I'm most excited about. So it's time to shift our goals from outcome and endgame based goals to more values based goals that focus on who it is that we want to continue to become. The last distraction is a lack of vulnerability. And I quite honestly, you guys, I really do think that that's why Ryan Kent struggled for longer than he should have. It's because he wasn't willing to be vulnerable. And once he started to be vulnerable, not just with others outwardly about what was going on in his life, but with himself, that's when he cracked the code on being able to have real conversations with themselves. Removing vulnerability from your life not only creates a disconnect with others that are watching, but with yourself. When you have vulnerability, you allow in support, love, community, wisdom. I think we all agree that we can't go at any of these endeavors in life, personal, professional, athletic, whatever it might be. We can't go at this alone, especially if we ever want to achieve what is truly capable or what is truly possible for us. When you let in vulnerability, you guys, the best thing that happens is you kill that ego that's not serving you whatsoever. And you are able to have better conversations with yourselves to get better answers that are going to guide you in the right direction. So maybe that's a place for you to start. When is the last time that you've gotten vulnerable about how you're feeling? That you've taken a internal inventory of what's going on mentally and emotionally? Those are going to give you great opportunities for conversations and answers, again, that will guide you. So don't remove vulnerability from this process. Continue to allow for it to be a part of the process and allow for it to elevate you. And this is ultimately where I want to leave you guys with today. A happy athlete is a successful one. The people you see standing on top of the podium are some of the most grateful people you will ever meet in your life and are probably honestly shocked to even be standing up there. The thing that keeps the best of the best winning is not just the time spent in practice, but the intentional time spent truly enjoying the journey that they're on. If you've lost that, well, then that's the first place to start again. Thank you guys so much for showing up for you today. I hope that this episode really does help. Please be sure to share this with friends and family that need to reconnect to their happiness and joy in their athletic journey. And if you haven't already, be sure to rate and review the podcast. I appreciate you so much for giving me a space to grow and allowing for me to continue to create opportunities for you guys to grow too. And I'll see you guys next week for another episode of the Becoming Your Strong podcast. See you then.